What are the gaps in order to fill and to raise the bars for our patients? In reality, I think that we have learned a lot of lessons. One of the first key lessons is that we know, even if we talk about immune-mediated diseases, we know exactly that the diseases are not at all the same. And we have very relevant lesson for this, because we know that, for instance, drugs that in rheumatoid arthritis or in dermatologists are effective, think about the anti-interleukin 17, for us are detrimental. There are a lot of cases, actually there are studies showing that placebo is significantly better than using these inhibitors because it drives intestinal inflammation. So this is just one single example to show that each disease is very unique, and we have been spoiled by the anti-TNF. One drug that is able to hit across diseases is not always the case. So this is a key message that has to be developed further in the future. Of course, if we think about targets, I always feel that a lot of attention has been poised on the immune cells, but not so much on non-immune cells. And actually, you know that science is fashion. Because if you think what is happening, and this is an overall view about the key effect of the adaptive immune system, over time we have shifted towards innate immune system and towards non-immune cells. And actually we know this. We know very well that non-immune cells, and our colleagues in rheumatology know very well that the fibroblasts have a key effect, that these cells are villains in inflammation. And we have a very good example, for instance, in our field, that if we target non-immune cells, for instance, vedolizumab, or if we target the microvascular endothelium in the gut, we can have a very nice therapeutic effect. And actually, I think that, for instance, when we think about blocking the right mediator and how we measure the targets in the tissue, and this is an overall view about drug development, we always think in the lab about things that are overexpressed, like 10, 20 folds, but size does not always count. Because, for instance, in our field, in GI, we have just an example. This vedolizumab is blocking just 3% of the key pathogenic cells, but with this we can have a good therapeutic effect. So it's very relevant to switch the brain and understand that we need to change also for drug development from quantity to quality of what we are inhibiting. So this is a very key issue. Of course, time of intervention is also very relevant. And this is again another key aspect that is not always taken into account. In rheumatoid arthritis, they talk about early disease or very early disease. But if you think in IBD, for instance, what is happening, it's a bit embarrassing.